Now that is a healthy load. My hole is prepped. Now let's get it in. We've got this tiny verse diva from China. And you know we love a fruity summer.
Oh yeah. And that is where we will leave it.
Today is a travel day. I'll be returning to California, but my flight's not till the evening, so I've got a lot of work to do today. I wanted to bring you along. Before I get started on work, doing my morning walk in the forest behind the house. This is a second growth forest, so not the old ancient growth that I showed you before, but trees that have all grown since they were chopped down at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. There's still some large trees in here, and like the rainforest, there's a lot of moss and epiphytic fern growth. It's very beautiful. All right, I need a little coffee before I get started on my work. This is place that's right by the house is called Lakeline. I found out today it's just about 1 year old. They often open this fancy little coffee shop. Has good coffee, breakfast, stuff like that. So sometimes I come down here if we don't have any coffee in the house. If I just want a little treat. A little avocado toast, you know, that millennial vibe. So tell me a little bit about epimediums. Why do you like them? What drew your attention?
Okay, initially what drew my attention is the leaves, and I think they're called bishop's hat, and they have kind of heart-shaped rounded leaves. When a long time ago, when you and I were on Whidbey Island and we did a little tour of people's home plant sales, they had a table out front, and I love the name. I tried planting them at the house on Homestead Street. I don't know what happened to them. So I didn't pay attention to the flowers because they're very tiny, and I thought, oh, they just have nice foliage. But eventually I noticed that the flowers were really nice.
They're quite ornate, aren't they?
They are, and they come up above the leaves. And now the new breeds, it's been hybridized, so they have bigger flowers too, and
colorful leaves now, even allegedly.
Oh, do they?
This tag says bronze tinted leaves.
On that glossy green one.
Yeah, well, according to the packaging of the ones that I got.
Oh, really?
So we'll see. We will see. We will verify.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be interesting. Like reddish leaves or something?
Maybe purplish and or splotching. We'll see how they grow.
We will. And like I said, hopefully they will survive and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Because out of the three I planted, that one looks good. But you're much better at planting things than I am.
Well, the key is going to be the first year, the summer water. And now we've got the drip line there.
We've got it set up pretty well, it seems like. Yes, I'm looking forward to it because it has turned into kind of a shady area. They do well in shade, and I'm quite fond of them.
All right, well, let's get to planting.
Okay.
Step one to our planting project, we got to enrich the soil with compost. Luckily, we got a big old pile here for me to sort through. When I said sort through, I was thinking I would just be picking out plastic and weed roots and anything else that I didn't want to put in the beds. But actually, I found something else in there that I wasn't expecting. Stay tuned for that later. Now that is a healthy load of compost. My hole is prepped. Now let's get it in. Look how nice that looks. Yum, yum, yum. Can't wait to get the roots in there. Here's your up close. This epimedium is called Black Sea. These beautiful hybrids are mostly from China. I went to China last year. It was incredible. Just thinking about that now. Definitely want to go back.
So basically I just settle it carefully in, spread out the roots, try to pack gently some soil and compost around them, then add a little bit more compost on top so it can decay in and feed the epimedium. And then finally cover the sensitive growth tips with some leaves as a little mulch to protect.
Here's another one. Pink Champagne is the name. Last and possibly least, we've got this tiny verse diva. It's versicolor cuprium, which means copper. And I like that. Now that we got them planted, it's time to water them all in so there's no air gaps around the roots and they can get to growing.
That's what we want, a smooth start.
And so Tobias, hoping to straighten out his image, set out on a new start.
This is raspberry row. We need to cut back the dead canes, work in some compost, and weed this out so we can get good fruiting this summer. And you know we love a fruity summer.
Oh yeah.
All right, step one was a success. We got that all weeded out. Now it's time for a lunch break, then we come back and compost. When I pruned the cherry tree a month ago, I had a bunch of branches that were in tight bud, and we brought them into the house just to see if the flowers would develop and open, and here they are. It's kind of nice. Got buckets of them all around the house. Nobody asked, but here's your little lesson for the day. There's two general types of raspberries. There's primocane raspberries, which grow a stem, flower, and bear fruit on that stem all in 1 year. Primo means first. And there's floricane raspberries, which the first year grow a stem, wait over winter, flower and bear fruit on that stem the second year. Floricane means flowering cane. Consequently, the pruning strategy for these two different types of raspberries is different. For the floricane raspberries, you want to prune them after the second year. Cut back stems after they've borne fruit. If you cut them the first year, you'll never get fruit. For the primocane raspberries, you want to cut them after the first year, because after the first year, they won't bear fruit again. Of course, to make life difficult, we decided to mix the two different types of raspberries together. So you kind of have to eyeball it and remember what's what around here. As a general rule, that's how our garden goes. Oh yeah, that's looking much better. Got all composted. We did our top dressing. Love a top dressing. So I was turning the compost and this is what I found. I'm always losing these little trowels. This one's been buried for who knows how long with all them leaves becoming dirt, but I found it. It's back. Well, waste not, want not. It started with a rack full of wood, burned up most of it. We got a rack full of wood for next time. Never ends. I guess that's sustainable. This ume tree, Japanese apricot behind me, I've been waiting and hoping that some of the flowers would open before I have to leave so I could show you. It's the first prunus to bloom, and just in the last hour before I have to go, one bloom opened. Let me show you. It's just stunning, classic Asian beauty. Is that not just the most classic beauty? The first prunus of spring. Oh my God. I cannot handle. So stunning. Now, unfortunately, you'll have to imagine, because I can't show you, but in a couple days' time, all the branches of this tree will be covered in those beautiful pink blooms. It's just a stunning display every year, so early.
And that is where we will leave it for today, on a little bit more of a hopeful note. Thanks for coming along with me while I work, and I hope you subscribe and follow for more updates from my life and garden. See you soon.